Congratulations, you've been promoted. We're transitioning you from $25 an hour to a salaried manager role paying $55,000 a year. No more clocking in, no more counting hours. You're part of the team now, part of the family. Sounds good, right? So you smile, you shake hands, you celebrate, you tell your friends, your parents. Maybe you post it on LinkedIn. What you don't see is your boss smiling even bigger in the background, because what he really just bought is unlimited access to your time for a fixed price, and you sold it with a thank you, not because you're naive, but because this is how our culture frames success. Hourly to salary, worker to manager, hands to head, a step up. What they don't tell you is you just became cheaper per hour. Salary gave your employer a buffet pass to your time, and now they don't have to ask for seconds. They just take them. This isn't financial advice. This is perspective. Because today we're going to break down what the salary model really is and who it is optimized for. We're going to talk about effective hourly rate, about exempt classifications, about why the word manager is sometimes just a rebranding of exploited. And most importantly, we're going to give you the tools to know when you're gaining money and when you're just gaining stress. Meet Sam. Sam is your classic ambitious guy. After a few years at the warehouse, he finally gets promoted. "I'm on salary now, boys," he tells his friends at the bar. "Manager, 60 grand a year." His friends, electricians and HVAC techs. Hourly guys, union. They raise their beers and say cheers. Then, as the second round is being poured, Sam's phone buzzes. It's his boss. "Need that report by morning. Can you send tonight?" Sam sighs, pulls his laptop out of his backpack and starts working. At the bar, his buddies clock out. Sam logs in. That's the difference. Before, every hour Sam gave, he tracked. He got paid. Now he's on salary. So every hour is on him. There's no time card and no overtime, just constant access to Sam's nights, weekends, and inbox, because on paper his job changed, but in practice, the work didn't shrink and the pay didn't rise. So where did the raise go? Let's break this down. Imagine you're buying paper towels. One roll at a time costs more, so you buy in bulk. You pay less per roll because you commit to a bigger package. That's salary. Your company bought you in bulk. Hourly workers, they're a la carte. If the boss wants 5 more hours, he has to pay 5 more hours plus overtime if it's past 40, but salaried employees, flat fee, 40 hours, 60 hours, emails on Sunday, same check. This is what makes salary attractive to employers, because it flattens your cost. You're no longer an input on a schedule. You're an unlimited access pass, 40 hours a week. You might make $28 an hour, but as soon as the job becomes 60 hours, that drops to $19. That's a 33% pay cut that you volunteered for. They didn't reduce your salary. You just increased your hours, and no one's stopping you. Why would they? Every overtime hour you work is free labor. You wouldn't do unpaid work for a stranger, but add a manager title and a nice email signature, and suddenly the free hours add up. You are donating energy to a corporation that would outsource your job in a heartbeat if the numbers improved. Ask yourself, why don't companies incentivize hourly people with titles? Because then they'd have to pay extra. Instead, they promote from within, slap a manager badge on your chest, and switch the pricing model without increasing value. This is where it gets sneakier. The law has a category called exempt. This means exempt from overtime protections. Under labor law, if you meet certain criteria, job duties, salary level, level of independence, you don't have to be paid for hours over 40. Seems reasonable until companies start rewriting your job. Suddenly, the person managing the fry station is called a shift lead. Or the guy stocking 80% of the warehouse is now inventory coordinator. Your day-to-day barely changes, but your rights do. Once you're salaried and exempt, you often lose access to overtime pay, even if you're still doing work remarkably similar to hourly workers. And if you say no to late tasks, it looks like you're not a team player. That's the real cost of salary, not just time but leverage. Now let's talk about culture. Every workplace has buzzwords. We work hard, play hard. This isn't just a job, it's a family. We don't track your hours, just your impact. Let me translate. We don't track how often you stay late, but we notice when you leave early. That's the expectation drift. When you first go salaried, you think, well, I'm being trusted now, treated as leadership. You feel proud. But a month in your calendar is filled with meetings after 5 p.m. Your weekend starts Sunday night, because quick team calls pop up on your phone, and that pride and flexibility becomes fatigue. This is called presenteeism. It's not about how much you produce. It's about how available you look. You aren't really free to manage your time. You're just expected to say yes, even when it's unpaid. Because the new unspoken rule is simple. Work whenever, for however long at one fixed rate. That's not a promotion. That's a fixed price subscription to your personal boundaries. Now let's show this with real numbers. Meet Hank and Sam. Same department, different contracts. Hank is hourly, $25 an hour, and this month, a big shipment requires 20 extra work hours. So he puts in his regular 160 hours plus 20 overtime at $37, $50 hour. Base pay, $4,000. Overtime, $750. Total, $4,750. Sam's salary, $55,000 per year. That's $4,583 per month no matter what. So he puts in the same extra hours, answers the same calls, finishes the same jobs, but his paycheck, frozen, same monthly total, no bonuses, no raise, just a few you're really dedicated compliments. One of these guys goes home with more money and fewer meetings. The other goes home with a title. Which one do you want to be? Salary can offer great things. It can mean predictability, professional growth, trusted responsibility, autonomy, but none of those are guaranteed. Sometimes salary is just optics. Sometimes it's a spreadsheet strategy to get more hours without paying more dollars. So here is a simple way to protect yourself. Calculate your effective hourly rate. Take your annual salary, divide by how many hours you truly work. Write that number down. Then ask yourself, do I get paid more for working more? Do I have autonomy, or am I just accessible 24/7? Is the title worth the time? Because if your new position makes your hourly rate lower, it isn't really a step up. It's a rebrand, upgrading your job title while downgrading your compensation. There's nothing wrong with salary, but if you don't protect your hours, it becomes a loophole that quietly drains your time, energy, and lifestyle. Your family will feel it. Your health will feel it. Your goals will feel it. And the company, they won't even notice until you burn out. So if you're at work later than everyone else, answering emails at night, skipping lunch to stay ahead, take 15 minutes and do the math, because time is your most valuable resource. Not salary, not titles, not performance reviews, just time. Protect it like it's expensive, because it is. And if you're ready to take back control of your schedule, your money, and your career, subscribe.